Hello and welcome to another Chelsea chat. And yesterday it was Manchester City 3, Chelsea 1. I didn't do one on Monday night after we beat Wolves 3-1 because, well, I did do one, but I didn't put it up because I thought to myself, it sounds like Groundhog Day. Nice to see Trevor Chalobah back, and I felt sorry for him when Maresca dipped down and tucked that goal in because it was going in anyway, because that would have been a lovely debut. I thought he was spot on Monday night, which was lucky it was, because again, we don't seem to totally be happy with his system that we play with these inverted fullbacks, and I didn't think it would happen overnight, but I was hoping that by the end of December, early January, we'd have it off to a T. We seem to lack the energy and the tempo that we had early in the season. I don't know why that is. But I didn't do one because, as I say, it was like Groundhog Day. We start off, first 20 minutes, half hour, absolute storm. Playing lovely football, good tempo, covering for each other, working hard. We sometimes take the lead, we go 1-0 up. And then when we go 1-0 up, the tempo dies. We seem to drop 10 yards. We seem to start playing it round the back more. We're waiting for Sanchez to make his usual mistake. Sometimes he gets away with it, sometimes he doesn't. And yeah, it wasn't an incredible game. Tosin played well, I thought, and obviously got his goal. Although we had about, was it a 6-minute wait to find out if VAR could tell if he was offside or not. I think this is getting ridiculous now. Cucurella got the last goal, as I say, was a Trevor Chalobah head down. But I couldn't see the point. It was a pretty uninspiring game. Wolves are pretty poor opposition, but it was a good 3 points. 3 points is 3 points. I wouldn't care if every game was like that. So we go to City yesterday, who've been destroyed by Paris Saint-Germain in the week, who are probably at an all-time low for them since the Saudis bought them. And I thought, right, we've got a real chance to carry on the momentum and do this. Well, for the first 15 minutes, I thought I was right. We went a goal up. We were pressing them high. We were working hard. And we went a goal up. Some nice work from Nicholas Jackson, putting pressure on the new 20-year-old young lad who probably should never have been playing. It went over to Maresca. Jackson, unselfishly, although I think he's low in confidence, I don't think he'd have took the shot on anyway, and Maresca put it in. We should have scored just after, where Cole Palmer, who's right off the boil at the moment, gave a pass to Jackson that should have been an easy tap-in, but he hit it too hard. Jackson's got as good a ball control as I have in some instances, and the chance was lost. A little bit later, Maresca was greedy, took a shot on from an almost impossible angle when again there were people on to pass to. And after that, we seemed to drop the intensity. Maresca did not do any covering back yesterday. Nothing that you would note of. It was like watching me, a fat old bloke, run after someone, running after a professional footballer. That was the tracking back by Maresca. Definitely one goal he could have stopped if he'd tracked back properly, and possibly two. There's no excuse for it, and I can see why he doesn't get picked if he does that in training. Yeah, Guardiola? He was their best player, particularly in that first half. You got the new, Moroccan guy, Maresca. He always looked dangerous. We had some warnings, and I think to myself, if you can see that you've got a player who's cutting through you on their left-hand side, our right-hand side, and you've got Reece who keeps being drawn into the middle to cover for other players and have to cover his right back role, I would say, forget the inversion. This isn't working. Let's go to a flat back four, have Reece doing his defending job, but he'll also be able to get forward as well, and have Cucurella playing his defending job, but he'll also get forward as well. But we don't seem under Maresca to have the capacity to think like that. We seem so rigid. And he wasn't like that at the start of this season. I thought he was going to be like that. Do you remember I did those videos before the season started? Absolutely worried about Maresca because of what some friends who support Leicester had told me. And they said he's too rigid. He won't change. His in-game management is negligible. Well, for the first 3 months of the season, no, he wasn't like that. He would change formation. He's always struggled to put subs on early enough, but he changed formation. And I mean, when we played Liverpool, I think it was, flat back four, the inversion wasn't hardly used. And yesterday, you would think after he'd seen the evidence in front of his own eyes, he would have come to that conclusion. But no. So I've got worries about Maresca. I really have. Leicester, halfway through the season, I think it was January actually, spluttered. It looked at one point as though they wouldn't get promoted and recovered at the end. And you think to yourself, was that quality coming through? Was that their different quality in that squad just coming through? I don't know. Anyway, yesterday, I say we lost 3-1 to Manchester City. Went up a goal. I say Jackson, Madueke put it in. Should have been 2 up, possibly 3 up. They had their chances, don't get me wrong. But it looked as though it was going to be one of them days. It was Guardiola, another chance, put the ball over when he should have scored. He put the ball wide, and that Maresca, I can't remember his name. He always looked at danger, and he skied one. He also had a goal disallowed. Sanchez, who nearly let him in earlier on with a poor goal kick, he didn't hold the ball. It went out, and he is an accident waiting to happen. He'd made that mistake against Wolves where he dropped it on the bloke's head practically stuck it on his foot on a silver platter. And yesterday, for their second goal, Erling Haaland, tough mark yesterday for Trevoh Chalobah. He's a strong old boy. And Colwill, I don't get it. I can see he's got all the attributes, but I don't know if it's a system we're playing where he's totally confused. But he's either got a low football IQ, which even great footballers, good footballers can have. Not great. Great tend to have a good football IQ as well. Or he just don't understand the system. Or he's not as good as we think he is. But he's always got a mistake in him. And with a combination of the two, Chalobah's trying to cover for Reece James and Colwill and Cucurella at times yesterday. I felt sorry for the boy. I bet he's thinking, I wish I'd signed for Crystal Palace when I had the chance. Wish I'd signed for Bayern Munich. But yeah, yesterday Sanchez, that goal, that second goal, what was he doing? I've coached goalkeepers, and I couldn't even think of a park keeper, well maybe one, who would have been out there where Sanchez was. And I watched it and I thought, I know why you were Brighton's third choice goalkeeper. I don't think Jorgensen's any great shakes, but he's better than that. I don't think Petrovic is world class, but he's a lot better than that. And I don't know who makes these decisions, like the Trevoh Chalobah one. I don't know if it's Maresca. If it is, he hasn't got a clue. If it's a sporting directors, he hasn't got a clue. And yesterday, as I say, not a lot to say. It's Groundhog Day. We lost tempo after we got a goal up. I don't know what he says to them in the change room at half time. What was that programme that used to be on the BBC that Simon Bates done? I'm going to lose all you young fans here. I don't know. It was like a melancholy tale of everything that had gone wrong in someone's life. My tune. The reason you think of this tune. Oh yeah, me granddad, me nan, me mum, dad, they all died on the same day in the same car crash. And when I think of the Cars, I always think of them. I used to sit in there thinking, oh God, that's ruined my day. It's nice for the people who got their tune played, I'm sure, although it must bring bad memories flooding back. But I don't know. I don't even know why I went on to my tune. I'm scunnered by this football team. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, half-time team talks. I don't know if he plays that to them, but they come out in the second half. They look totally deflated and totally lost. No tempo. We look like a relegation side, and that's how we came out in the second half yesterday. There was never any danger of getting back into that game after City went 2-1 up. And afterwards, Maresca, he comes in the press conference. He had his love in, obviously, with Pep on the side. Pep's obviously walking off, trying to get Cole Palmer to sign back, saying, "Oh, I think I made a mistake. There's always a home here for you." I don't know what he was saying, but he spent a long time, spent about 10 minutes with him. And then we've got, if I was Maresca, I'd been saying to Cole Palmer, right, get in the dressing room. I wouldn't have had none of that, but there you go, that's me, the dinosaur. And Maresca comes in front of the press conference and he says, "Oh, well, Robert Sanchez realises he's making mistakes." Does he? Good. Because he is. And he's costing us games. And you're the one who's picking him. And if he didn't realise that he was making mistakes, he wouldn't just be one of the worst goalkeepers in the Premier League. He'd be an actual cabbage. An actual cabbage. You'd have to pick him up for training, drop him off at his doorstep afterwards. You might have to. He's a decent shot stopper. He's a pretty poor Premier League goalkeeper. He'd be amazing up the park, but he's a pretty poor Premier League goalkeeper. But Maresca, you're the one that's picking him. Oh, he realises what he's doing wrong. Do you realise? Because if not, you're a cabbage. Do you realise that this inversion isn't always working? It won't work if you've got lazy buggers like Madueke being part of the plan. Why did he finish the game, Madueke, on that pitch? Why wasn't he not taken off at half time and Neto put on? Explain. I'd love to know. Right, I'm just going to score the team. Sanchez gets a 2. Useless. Right back. Well, it wasn't really right back, was he? Reece James pulled out of position a lot, because not his fault, but just because some people in that side don't understand the game. You've got Madueke not tracking back. You've got... I don't. Reece James gets a 4. Inside him, Chalobah gets a 6. Did his best with no hand of cards whatsoever. Colwill gets a 5. Cucurella gets a 6. In the middle of the field, Caicedo, felt a bit sorry for him yesterday, but it wasn't his best game, gets a 6. Enzo Fernandez, you wouldn't know he was on the pitch. He gets a 5. In front of them, Madueke gets a 5. At the start of the season, he was taking on people for fun. Yesterday, it was just a combination of greed and laziness. He gets a 4, actually. In the middle, Cole Palmer gets a 6. And I think 4 of them came in the first 15 minutes. He's woefully off form. The lad probably needs a rest. On the left-hand side, Sancho gets a 6. The work rate was there, but he just... I don't know. Again, he seems to be covering too much ground for me. I don't know how this system works. And then up front, Jackson gets a 4. Yesterday, the effort wasn't there after the first 20 minutes. The boy looks absolutely shot with confidence. And we're linked with, is it Garnacho from Manchester United? How many wingers, how many underperforming wingers do we want? Coach the ones we've got. In Sancho and Neto, I think we've got 2 world class. In Madueke, we got someone that could be very decent on his day. And obviously we've got a coke snorter. But coach the ones you've got. We don't need Garnacho. We need a centre forward. Pay the extra and get Oshiman. Pay the extra and get John Duran. Pay the extra, even get that lump from Ipswich. He knows where the goal is. Pay the extra. And I think we also need a world-class centre-half to go with Trevoh Chalobah. Everyone raves about Fofana. He's always injured. I don't know what he's like. There's the truth. I've seen him play one good game for Chelsea Football Club. The rest of the time he's been underwhelming or whatever. And Colwell, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a young lad. He was going to leave if he didn't get enough game time. Well, I'll tell you what, playing like he is at the moment, let him leave. Make some money. If Liverpool want to pay £70 million for him, I'll drive him there. And I know I'm being unfair, and I'm not being knee-jerk, they wear me down. How many chances do you give these players? And I don't care if they're different mistakes, because it's all part of the learning process. But it's the same thing. And if the players don't understand the system, that's down to the manager now. They're either thick, so you've got to get players in that do understand the system, or the system changes to accommodate their IQs. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry, folks. This is why I didn't do a Wolves one, because even though we won, I could see the glaring mistakes. I could see the problems to come in the future, and they just come a little bit earlier than I thought they would, because City are at an all-time low, and they just beat us 3-1. Still, onwards and upwards. That's what I say. Sorry, I hope I haven't depressed you too much. Let me know your thoughts. That's why I do these. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Up to Chelsea.